We're here at ADIPEC on day 2 and a very, very busy session going on here, and I'm joined by Shahin Negahban. He is seconded actually right now working with the Abu Dhabi group of oil companies from BP, and he's an expert on carbon management, which is something we've been hearing an awful lot about for the last few days. Tell me some of the work that you've been doing here, and particularly with the ADNOC group of companies.
Basically, we looked at CO2 injection back since 2001. And then one of the things our management did, they had a vision 2020 that they developed in 2006, and they identified that CO2 EOR are going to be one of the pillars that can help us to sustain our production beyond 2020. As a result of that, we've embarked on CO2 EOR in general from many fronts. As you know, in order to capture CO2, you need to do a lot of challenging work. There are a lot of challenges we are facing. In terms of capture itself, you need to come up with an efficient and cost-effective ways. In terms of EOR application, you have to do a lot of studies, you have to do a lot of field application to prove the technology in our carbonates. And the third one is how to secure the source of CO2, and this is going to be done through collaboration that we are doing right now with Masdar to secure the sources. The thing about CO2 is why we're doing this. If you look at it from another point of view, it's going to help us to secure our energy in terms of keeping the production for a long time. It also gives us economic prosperity in that we bring in a lot of new technology. We introduce a lot of R&D, and at the same time we are developing a workforce to be able to manage or handle the challenges of large-scale CO2 projects in the future, which we are anticipate to happen in 5 years.
And that's actually great. I mean, right now we have, 3 of the big demonstration projects going on in Norway, in Canada, I believe, and Australia we're seeing some more work, and in Algeria as well. So for the Middle East, what I'm hearing too from a lot of the analysts is that really Abu Dhabi is going to drive this. And you've been working on it for a while. I think some people don't really understand carbon capture and storage and maybe shy back a bit from it. But it's a technology that has actually been working for different solutions for the last few years.
Right. CO2 EOR technology was looked at back in 70s and 80s, and actually there are over 100 ongoing projects using CO2 injection as an EOR. What happened when we looked at it in ADCO back in 2007, we looked at the total reserves of Middle East, and if you look at the report just came out of one of the IEA, and they estimated that incremental recovery due to the EOR in the Middle East going to be anywhere between 80 to 120 billion barrels. And you know, half of the oil reserves right now are in Middle East after all the production that we have done. Therefore, we knew that we need to look at CO2. And then, as a result of all the work we've done, we initiated a pilot for the first time in the Middle East. We did a pilot in one of our fields. It was a simple pilot, but we want to start simple before we get into more complex reservoir. We completed the pilot in 2009. We started injecting CO2, and this was a joint venture between ADCO, ADNOC, and Masdar. We formed a steering committee called Carbon Lead, and that helped us to iron out all the necessary steps that we need to accomplish this pilot. Pilot is ongoing. We have basically all the objectives that we set at the beginning of the pilot was met. Now we are extending the pilot to look at a little bit more difficult oil in the transition zone, basically. And recently, our management have approved 2 additional projects. One of them going to be a basically full field conversion of hydrocarbon bag to CO2 bag, and the other one going to be a larger scale pilot in one of our very tight reservoirs to look at the concept where we're going to have very tight reservoirs. And these projects are all planned for 2014. So, and at the same time, as we talked about it yesterday, if you heard from plenary session that Exxon CEO mentioned, the key challenges we are facing is technology and cost effectiveness and means of capturing CO2 efficiently and with low cost. Now, in order to do all of this thing, you need innovation and development of the technology. And at the same time that we are doing all these lab work, we have created a joint industry project with top US universities. I'm talking about Stanford's, UT Austin's, Rice, and Massachusetts Institute of Technology, in collaboration with Petroleum Institute, Masdar, and Masdar Institute. So these projects are all state-of-the-art work in developing the technology you need to be able to explain the performance of these fields in 5 years.
Super, and thank you for taking the time to explain that to us. Dr. Shahin Negahban, thank you so much.